Yeah, had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics, everything up to the moon. Was the landing real and fake? I guess you'll never know. Let's talk, this is the Nate and Garrett Show, yeah. So lend me your ear, let's get it poppin'. You know that we keep it live, non-stoppin'. Educating, entertain, there ain't no doubt. After you listen, you'll be thinking way outside the box. From media dishonesty, never let them play you. Keep it authentic nowadays, many can't do. Unfiltered is how we do it. Make sure you stay locked in and tuned in, let's go. Had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. The Nate and Garrett Show.
And now, welcome to the Nate and Garrett Show. Prepare yourself to be transported to the furthest reaches of reality. As the hosts unravel the mysteries of the universe, the depths of the deep state, the truth hidden in plain sight, all while bringing you the news from this week. Please welcome your hosts, Nate and Garrett.
Garrett.
Hey everybody.
What's up, dude?
Well, guys, we barely made it. We're only on X tonight. No Twitch, no YouTube. So it's probably going to be a smaller, intimate audience.
Yeah. Hang on, music's still going for some reason.
It's kind of cool.
I didn't even know it went that long.
Yeah. I really heard the end of that one. For people that don't know, I think most people do, AWS was down, which is Amazon's web service. And apparently the whole internet is just based off that. Because everything was down today.
Dude, it's funny that if that goes down, the internet goes down. Like all these different sites. It's weird how the internet is reliant on Amazon.
Yeah, it really is. The conspiracy theorists always used to come out so much whenever that would happen. That you'd see like 3 sites down and they'd be like, oh my God, the Chinese are hitting us, or else it would be a Q deep state thing. And you know what it is lately? Lately, it's been back when like the meme stocks were squeezing. It'd be like, they're doing that to stop the squeezing of the stocks. And it just so happens that Beyond Meat is kind of squeezing right now. So that was the big one. That Beyond Meat they're doing that to stop Beyond Meat. So all the internet and Amazon's in on this, I guess. Amazon cares about a penny stock and everybody else, and they're all down just so this penny stock. So they're doing this to screw over your portfolio, Mr. Penny Stock Gambler.
Yeah, just to stop Beyond Meat, huh? Hang on, let me bring up the stock. Let's look at it. Dude, Beyond Meat, I saw that it plummeted over the last few years, right?
Big time, yeah. If you go to Yahoo Finance and just put in Beyond Meat, it'll come up. There you go. Yahoo is the only thing Yahoo's good for anymore. Look at that. It's up 130% today.
Wow.
And an extra 21% after hours. And if you do look, about 9 or 10, when the dip really happened this morning, it did get down to like 70-ish cents or so. But people are losing their minds about this. It's just saying how they're doing this to stop the squeeze.
You know, if I had any of this, and then all of a sudden the internet goes out, you know, I would. I'd be like, well, the Illuminati's after me again.
But go to the 5-year chart, just because we have it up. Look at that.
It's been a rough 5 years.
$150, almost $200.
Oh my God.
Share. And then what did it get down to? 30 cents this week, maybe?
Dude, think of all the people that honestly like bought in right here at the peak.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, I don't blame them either, because artificial meat, like Beyond Meat, it did taste closer to meat than I would have ever thought possible, you know. I was vegan during this.
I had some friends that even just weren't vegan that were telling me, like, you've got to try this. It tastes as good as meat.
Dude, yeah. I think a lot of people could be given a Beyond Meat hamburger, and if you just didn't tell them, they wouldn't really know. Yeah. They would just think it was a hamburger. And then after you go, that was Beyond Meat, they'd be shocked.
You know, it would be, I'm a ferocious meat eater, but it would be kind of nice if we had something that was as healthy as meat that tasted as good, that
Yeah.
the animal didn't have to die for.
I agree
know?
with that, but that's the thing, I was never convinced that this was actually healthy.
Mhm.
And I'm more convinced that it's not healthy at all than ever. I don't think it's just like a patty of soy and Lord knows what. It's not healthy to eat this stuff.
No, it's kind of funny. Like a lot of people have like the view of like a vegan diet of being like a healthier diet. And it can be just because compared to the standard American diet.
Yeah.
But if you take the average vegan's diet and throw in meat to it, it's going to be even a better one. Yeah. But they're comparing it to just the standard American diet, which is just absolutely fucking
just
terrible.
Doritos and French fries.
But if you took the average American diet and took the meat out of it, it's gonna make it worse. So yes, it can be done, but it takes work, man. I sympathize with people that are doing it for kind of ethical and moral reasans.
Me too. I mean, that's how I started. Basically, when I was vegan for a while, I just ran vegetarian for several years. About a year ago, I went back to eating meat, and I feel good about that change.
Did you feel better? Can you tell us the difference?
Not really. Although I will say that in all of my experiments with different foods and stuff, I have always just felt good. And almost like people always ask me, "Oh, you're vegetarian now. Do you feel better than when you were eating meat?" No, I feel the same. And I feel the same when I'm eating meat. So I don't know what to say about that. I just kind of always feel pretty good.
You do hear people like back when veganism got huge, like what was it, like 2010 or so? There were people that were doing blogs on it and stuff. Is their identity. And then they started having a bunch of health issues. And some of these people went back to a meat diet. And they came out and said, like, people were basically telling me that I should have just died for the cause. And that they'd know that a lot of people won't be able to adapt to a truly vegan diet, but it's still better as a whole if I just went down with the ship, basically.
Yeah, that's the anti-human point of view.
Yeah, you're right.
These people are anti-humans.
It's the heat map I keep talking about when it comes to the empathy. How you have like the liberal one, their heat map is more like even inanimate objects compared to like family members and shit.
Yeah.
But it do feel like my 4-year-old just figured out like 3 weeks ago we got a turkey leg, and she came up to me like all distressed. She goes, "Daddy, tell me mommy's joking me when she says that this is a roasted leg of a turkey." I said, well, I mean, she's not. She was sad. Like she was She's a little torn up about it.
It's an interesting thing to come to grips with. I mean,
yeah, it kind of hurt my heart telling her that. Like, I should just lie to her. Let her be a 4-year-old for longer.
Dude, I am convinced basically that like, people go, "Oh, I would never eat a dog. Dogs are loving, great creatures and stuff." Man, I think that pretty much like almost every animal can, you ever seen like a goose who like the caretaker of the goose pets it and is kind to it, it'll come running and hug the person,
Same as a cow. People don't like to talk about it.
Yep.
Same as a pig.
Same as a pig. That's the point I'm making. But I eat bacon sandwiches every day. I'm not trying to say it's wrong to eat it, because I don't think it's immoral for a lion to eat a gazelle. Okay.
Absolutely not. Yep.
So whatever. I don't want to get into all that, but
I think
anyway,
we could agree.
It's interesting.
I think we can agree that factory farming is not ideal.
I think it's terrible.
Environmental, moral,
That's
yada.
the problem.
And
that was when I really stopped, because I was so against torturing these animals. Can we not torture them their whole lives, please?
We have the WF, the world, whatever. They're trying to do the whole like feed us bugs and shit.
Yeah.
And you have
eat bugs.
Bill Gates trying to say we shouldn't eat meat, and he's trying to make this fake meat. I get why there's the pushback, and there's some states that are like banning lab-grown meat, but that is short-sighted too, because eventually they're probably going to get it right, and it's probably going to be as healthy and as tasty. But
and if it can be like cloned,
These evil fucks have got to not use government to force it on people. They got to use the free market.
Yeah.
As painful as that may be.
Good point.
They've got to do the free market and not just try to force it on us,
No
basically.
shit. And I'm never eating the bugs. I mean, I think that's a
No,
satanic
that
agenda.
never-
I've said
I
that.
agree with you.
You got Nicole Kidman eating worms and telling me how great it is. It's like, this is some messed up stuff.
Do you know what they'd love to compare it to? Is like crustacean, like shellfish. Like, no, because shellfish, I'm not eating the eyes and the brain and the guts. I'm eating the meat. I'm eating its muscles. If you had a bug big enough that had muscles, maybe we could talk. But it's goo. You're eating bug goo, basically.
Yeah.
If you love
same with worms, same with every other bug, really.
Right.
It's not like a crab where you go get the meat out of it.
And also, you eat the bugs, Bill Gates. I'm not eating the
Yeah.
bugs.
Yeah.
And
No,
don't
he's
put them in
not.
the food,
Yeah.
you sick
Yeah.
bastards. Just let's show this again, dude.
going to eat. I'm
You know, I associate this with COVID too, by the way, because I think
Yeah.
it was part of the Illuminati agenda to go, okay, lock them all down and then introduce the bug plan.
You know, they do the incremental taking of freedoms all the time. They're boiling the frog slow all the time. And that was the big thing that people were scared about when it came to COVID. They're saying this is going to turn into environmental shutdowns, carbon shutdowns, global warming shutdowns. And they're kind of right. There are places that were kind of starting to try that.
Oh, I think so.
In different ways.
Yeah.
And this is kind of related to that too, I think.
Yeah.
They're saying, okay, now we're going to start. They already ate these shutdowns. We have half the world, half the population, at least the U.S., calling in and telling on their neighbors what people are getting together. They're legit tattletaling. It's going to be a much smaller step to have them now locked down for whatever reason they want.
Yeah. I honestly
it doesn't
think
even
that
matter anymore.
like we resisted enough that they weren't able to do all the things they wanted. And they the Democrats were all in on their side because they're idiots
Yes.
and were willing
They
to
were
just
calling the
destroy
cops
the world.
and telling on us.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. They'd be eating the bugs. I mean, the Democrats would be eating bugs and shaming me for not eating them if we hadn't won the COVID battle. One more thing about
That
Nicole
was a big
Kidman.
battle. You're right.
You know, this is
How
also.
satanic does she kind of look?
I know,
right?
she looks like a
Woman?
demon right there. Yeah,
Yes.
I think so too. But, you know, she was one of the first Hollywood people to adopt a little African boy and turn him into a girl. She transed her adopted African child in like 1990.
You know, there's something even more sinister to me to do that to an adopted kid.
I
And
think,
also
yeah.
to do it from an adopted kid from a third world nation. And it's just, and there's the race issue too. I think there's something kind of sick and disgusting about that.
No shit, I do
It's
too.
almost like it's the maximum. She got the maximum liberal points that she could out of this. Okay, he's from a third world country. He's not white. And I'm going to trans him. It feels very evil to me.
Yeah, it is. I think it is. And I think it's purposefully evil to try to normalize this. And and it's like the most extreme limit of like,
Yes.
Nicole Kidman did it. The worst thing ever, the weirdest shit ever. And here she is eating bugs, Garrett.
Nicole Kidman, and I am going to eat a 4-course meal of bugs.
How disgusting is that?
By the way, you notice this cast of famous people here? Let's
Yeah.
watch who this is. I don't know who that was.
Who was that first one? Me neither.
Oh, that's Gal Gadot. That's the she's the chick who sang Imagine while everyone was losing their jobs. Remember that? So that's Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman. Then you got
that was one of the first
cracking
fucking like the little chink in the armor of the COVID battle was them singing that. Because
Dude,
it
you're
even
right,
set the
that
liberals
helped.
off on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
I think they thought the opposite.
Yeah.
I think that they thought it was going to be the whole like
rallying
we're in this
cry.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it also was a crack in the armor of celebrity worship in general. That we've seen a big falling out with these celebrities. Give a shit about them.
Absolutely.
It looks to me like this is about to be a cast of Illuminati Satanists who I didn't really include Gal Gadot in, but now I will. I just thought she was some idiot celebrity.
I always bring up her Wonder Woman 1984. That 1984 is such an obvious one.
You're so right about that, dude.
That's obvious.
People were Googling 1980. We've said it before, but people were Googling 1984, so they released a movie called
because
Wonder
they're locking
Woman
us in a house.
Yeah.
So they did that, and
It
so
was
they
perfect
still
timing.
wanted to be the intellectuals, but one of their masterpieces was about them and against them.
Yeah. Okay, so we got her. We got Tom Hanks, who
Do you remember he
lost
acted
a lot
like
of
he had
respect
COVID?
for. Yeah.
Do you remember he was one of the first guys
He was
to
the
live
big-
COVID? He was like really locked down, and he was walking around like he was a zombie and stuff. Do you remember that?
Yes.
He was the first celebrity to come out saying he had COVID.
Well, yeah, he was big pushing COVID. Big.
Yep.
That typewriter right there, that was some weird stuff. Like, I think maybe that's a COVID brand typewriter. So there's some weird stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
there's probably
bet-
some weird Easter eggs in here.
Yes, there
Yeah.
was lots of very weird shit going on with COVID and Tom Hanks. And his son's got a big Illuminati tattoo on his chest. I mean, there's some
But
weird
you know,
stuff.
we're
dude.
getting deeper. But you remember when he would be taking pictures of like lost gloves? Or
Yeah.
hats?
I
And
do.
one of them was like a Russian webpage written on the ground, and it
Yep.
led to like a Russian child porn site.
Yep, I remember that.
And then if
Isaac
you go to that
Cappy.
site and type it in, and then eventually, after it got caught because it's going nuts on the internet, you type it in, and it would show like American jets and tanks and shit. You remember that?
Yeah, that's
How
when
weird
that
is that
that was
whole
part of why I was believing in Q. Because that was
got
part of
weird.
it. The military was busting
Yeah.
these child porn
But it was
sites.
weird how that was basically a child porn site, and then
Yeah.
turned to a military site when they got busted.
Yep. Okay, not to mention, just all of a sudden we're on this topic. But how about Isaac Cappy, the actor? He comes out saying, "Who's Jeffrey Epstein?" He makes. Dude, I think he's going to become more famous in the future. By the
People
way.
just they act because Epstein got caught. They act like they all knew who Epstein was, but they had no clue.
They had no
We
idea.
talked about it before. That was a conspiracy theory that people were making fun of us for. And they said, "What? They bring the elites to this island and they do kids? You're so stupid." And then Epstein gets caught and caught again because he got caught numerous times, and they gave him a slaps on the wrist because
Yeah, they let him
Mossad,
out.
I'm sure the government, everybody. But then it got too big one time, and then he ends up dead, and everyone acts like, yeah, everyone knew Epstein. No, they didn't.
No,
you
they
didn't. It's the same as the NSA spy thing. They said, hey, they're listening in on every single American's phone conversations. They're listening to you, and they laugh at you. But then it gets caught. The NSA gets caught doing it, and they say everybody knew. Everybody knew that.
Yeah,
That's not a
yeah.
conspiracy theory.
Yep.
It's like, God damn, you guys are just so. You guys are so
Stupid.
dishonest.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
dishonest.
Yeah, it is.
None of you normies knew who Jeffrey Epstein was, even though you tried to say you did. You guys were wrong. We were right. He was flying everybody that's somebody to this island to have sex with kids to blackmail them. We told you guys. You
Yeah.
guys said we're crazy, and we were right.
Yep. Anyway, Isaac Cappy specifically called out Tom Hanks. He said Tom Hanks is a pedo. He said Steven Spielberg is. And I pretty much believe that, you know.
He released some really creepy videos.
Yeah.
With like really creepy ones, and then he ends up thrown off of supposedly died by jumping off of like a highway overpass, even though he said over and over he's not
Yeah, they
suicidal.
killed. Yeah, he died during this. As he was calling these people
What's
out,
he-
within
what's
like
he
a
known
few
for?
months, he died.
What's he known for, by the way?
He was like a C-list actor. He wasn't known for anything. He's known for calling this shit out. He was unknown before he started saying like, "Hey, these guys are all pedo Satanists."
Yeah.
And then he ends up being murdered. And also Tom Hanks had that picture of like a cap, like some kind of like a screw-on cap with a big P on it. And it said like, "Oh,
really?
roadkill." And then
For real?
yeah, and then like 3 days later, Isaac Cappy got thrown off an overpass. And it was like near that picture too. There was a bunch of shit.
Weird.
Oprah's tied up. Oprah's
Yep,
tied
Oprah
into this
just-
crap.
Well, not
They were
only
saying
this
she
is
was
like
sex
a
trafficking
conspiracy,
kids.
she used to go and introduce these young actresses to Harvey Weinstein.
Yep.
You know, there's some really creepy pictures of these young girls obviously scared and her introducing them. What a
Yep.
creep.
Yeah.
Charles also, John of God, he was a very obvious scammer cult member
Yep.
who was raping a bunch of girls. She made him so famous.
Yeah,
she brought him on the show.
Yep. She said
He
he
did
was so great and all this
He
stuff.
did either spiritual surgeries, and he's not a doctor. He was a fake cult guy, or he would do real surgeries where he would stick like insides away up your nose, or he'd take a piece of glass or a knife and shave off the white of your eyes. Do you know I know a guy that went and saw him, and he did that to him? That's my poor guy I knew has type 1 diabetes, and he was kind of obsessed with trying to fix it. So he went to
probably
John of
watched
God and
Oprah.
Yeah, I'm sure that had a lot to do with it. And he went and did that weird ass surgery.
Didn't help
But,
him.
and Oprah
I'm
was
guessing.
Oprah was bringing no, of course not. She was bringing legitimacy to one of the weirdest
sex cult
cult
weirdo guys in
sex cult
Brazil, yeah.
ever.
And
He
making
did
him
just
super
thousands
powerful.
of these
Yeah.
quote unquote surgeries while also raping young girls.
Yeah.
You know what finally got him? Because some girls came out and accused him, but he was Mr. Oprah, so everyone didn't much of it. It was his daughter. His daughter came out and said, "No, you guys need to take these serious." And that was his big downfall,
Wow.
really. But yep, Oprah. So Oprah is a lot to blame when it comes to Harvey Weinstein and for John of God and a bunch
And
more,
maybe
of
a bunch
course.
of secret,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just think it's interesting. These same
Yes.
characters keep coming up, and then
No,
and now we
what a
got
weird
Nicole Kidman
coincidence.
telling us we need to eat bugs.
Yeah.
Let's finally watch the commercial, Garrett.
I am here to reveal my hidden talent, eating
she
micro livestock, cornworms. They're still alive.
You know, pause again.
She says.
There's still something like when it comes to vertebrates for sure, but even other invertebrates, you'll see like in like China and Japan where they'll eat animals that are still alive, and I think that is like a next level evil. And I'm not.
Oh yeah, that's torture.
empathizing.
You know, don't torture
Yeah.
them, for God's
I
sake.
know, but I'm not empathizing with these worms. But it is weird how it is alive, and she's pointing that out.
Okay, yeah.
And I just feel like that's a little weird to me too.
Yeah.
Obviously, eating a live frog or fish is way worse to me than eating this live bug.
Yeah.
But it's still just that brings that weirdness level up to me. This is already just disgusting.
yeah.
You can't blend it first or something. Now you're eating it live. You disgusting lady.
Very moist.
What do you mean, Garrett? She's
Can't
beautiful.
quite describe the flavor.
She's not an
but
evil
a
ghoul.
little water. Let's try the second course, shall we? Just a little side note. 2 billion people in the world eat.
Oh my god, she has more money than I will probably ever make, and probably most of my lineage. I'm just trying to think of like, you'd have to pay me so much money
yeah.
to do this,
Yeah.
and she's doing it for, I guess it'd be like me making a couple dollars, probably. You know,
Yeah, but I mean, that's not why she's doing it. She's not doing this for whatever
it's-
paycheck. She's doing this because her evil cult that she's in has told her this is part of her duty.
is this a humiliate? Hey, you could either have Rabbi Shmuley give you a piggyback ride, or you could go and do some bunny hops, or you could eat these worms. Do you think that's what it is? Do you think they have a little checklist of different stuff they could do?
Probably not. I mean, I think it's probably
You don't
you're
think so?
eating the worms.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. I think it's those people more in a boardroom sitting there deciding who's
Yeah,
gonna do what.
she doesn't
Yeah.
get to choose to do the bunny hops.
Yeah, you're probably right.
They go, okay, Nicole, go eat the worms. We're trying to trick all the humans.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Bugs.
Look at this.
And I'm one of them. 'Cause
Jeez.
here we go. Have some mealworms. I'm telling you, I'd win Survivor. That is a fruity taste. I'd recommend it. Here we have. Oh, crickets. Oh, nothing. Oh, awesome.
Awesome.
Nothing you've ever tasted.
Awesome. I love how she's like trying to say it's delicious and stuff instead of being completely disgusted.
Yeah.
Tasted like a hairy nut. Don't. Oh my gosh. A nut from the shell. And now for dessert, the fried grasshopper. These
For dessert.
are amazing. These are exquisite grasshoppers.
Yeah,
I
scarf
recommend them.
Closed. Yeah, keep your mouth closed, you
Thank you for spending so much time with me and watching me eat bugs. Till next time.
Thank you for trying to push your evil agenda on us, Nicole.
Ask Gronk how much Nicole Kidman made for eating bugs. See if it comes up.
All right.
Because it's going to be really weird if this isn't infinity dollars to me. It just makes it even more weird.
I'll start with a nice greeting there. Hey, Grok.
You don't want it to kill you when an AGI comes.
Yeah. Earn for eating bugs in that commercial. Let's see what he says here.
It is weird I can see AI think now.
Hilariously
So does it-
deadpan. What is he trying
Oh
to...
my God. Well, how is that hilarious or deadpan? That's none of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
above.
I think that Grok is like, this couldn't be serious, could it? Because
Nothing. They don't know, but they think between 50 and 250,000. wouldn't do
just
that for
because Grok
50,000.
said that, though, I have to point out that was not satire. That was a
No.
real thing they were trying to do, and they still want us to eat all the bugs, you know. Yikes.
Yep.
Okay, so we went off on a somehow we got on
That's a
that
weird
topic,
tangent, but yes.
dude. We back in the day we were throwing Isaac Cappy stuff, and I mean, he was just proven right over and over, and he's dead now because they killed him for being right and exposing the
Did you
psychos
see-
in the world.
Speaking of that, what's her name? Gaffrey or whatever. The one that was a victim of Jeffrey Epstein that was starting to write books and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
Did you see
She
this?
died,
And then
yeah.
she got hit by a bus
Yeah.
supposedly and lived and said that they're trying to kill her. And she's worried about her life and they ended up killing her. Did you see there's a new article today about her? Did you see this?
No.
And it's getting, the headline was that Virginia? Is that her name? Virginia Gaffrey beaten by a popular prime minister. But they won't say his name or where he's from.
Oh my God, it's
Did you
probably
do-
Mark Carney. Dude, Mark Carney was friends with Ghislaine Mac. I mean, we showed that, you know.
No, you if you would think about this, you would know it was the past prime minister of Israel, but they wouldn't name it.
Oh,
But it is. Look at that. Virginia Goffrey. I know I'm saying her name wrong. Was left bloody and beaten by prime minister in attack that broke Epstein's spell, beginning and the end. So,
dude, these people are so sick. He couldn't
when
just.
you say prime minister, your first thought is going to be like Canada or the UK.
Yeah.
But they're afraid to put that it's Israel. But also, that starts to prove that that the Jeffrey Epstein thing is a Mossad front, because they're trying to act like it has nothing to do with Israel. It has nothing to do with Mossad when it's so obvious they do. But they just keep lying to us. It doesn't make sense.
Dude, I mean, this guy couldn't just, prostitute her. He had to also beat the shit out of her.
Yeah.
Like, these people are
Yeah.
psychos, man.
Yeah.
Yikes. And now she's dead.
Yep, she's dead.
41. She was
Tried
our
to
age.
bus crash. said she was really worried about her life, that they're going to kill her. And then she supposedly commits suicide.
Man, we live in a weird world, bro.
Yeah.
And it's just too bad that people pretend like the elite people are good people. They are the worst people.
They're so good. They did the tribalism thing. They separate us by blue versus red.
Yeah.
And I mean, look at it. There's a ton of MAGA people that are against the Epstein files being released now. For whatever
right,
reason.
right. Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. They're the ones screaming about it. And now they're, just because Trump won't release them, now they're saying, "Oh, move on. It's not important.
Yeah.
Move on."
Yeah,
And
that's
they're
a great
pissed
point.
at the people that
Sucks.
aren't moving on.
Yeah.
So they do this by doing that red versus blue thing. And when these guys are all just fucking on the same team versus you, none of them have your best interest at heart. And you guys are idiots for thinking they do.
Yeah. Dude, it is funny because I see posts saying, you know, oh, Trump's on the Epstein files. He's a pedo and stuff. And I think, good. I like that post. It looks like it's true. I pretty much think Trump's an Epstein Island psycho.
But I think his bosses won't let him release it. I think it's beyond him. I think he was probably
Like
not.
Israel
I think that
won't let him?
Yes, I think Virginia Guffey or whatever. I think she would have came out and said that, but she was like a Trump supporter and stuff. So I'm not convinced that he has a whole lot to do with Epstein. I think these multi-billionaires, it's a very small world, so they all knew each other, intermingled and stuff. But I don't think that he probably was a big Epstein Island guy, but it's hard to give him the benefit of the doubt.
That's what I was just going to say.
You want to take it back? Him with that message to Epstein is too much for me. He's
that's
involved.
weird.
But I think it's bigger than that. I think the reason he's not releasing it is because of Israel relations, basically.
Yeah. Well, on top of that, you know, look, I don't want to look. Okay, Bill Gates went to Epstein Island. I just go, okay, he's an Epstein pedo. Stephen Hawking, okay. Anyone that went, until I get evidence otherwise, I'm not going to take a fine-tooth comb and be like, oh, he's probably still good. Maybe he was just playing volleyball. Even
Bill
though I
Gates-
personally think maybe Trump wasn't doing super evil shit. I can't. Well, then show us. Tell us that.
Yeah, you're
if
right. I
not,
was
you're just
wrong.
kind
I
of
was
guilty to
wrong
me.
to say that. Yep. The Bill Gates one's the funniest though, because he lost his wife. His wife left him over the whole thing.
Yeah.
And they're still like, the media is acting like, these super billionaires are just breaking up. And then she does an interview, admits that's why and stuff. And they're still just incurious about it because they're told to not run those stories, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, okay, Garrett.
You know what would be a good time?
Yeah,
Nate,
okay,
this would be a good time to show the Sam Altman interview.
Okay. Yeah, good
Sam
point.
Altman, speaking of, I guess we got to say, we believe all women on the show, right? That's a big thing.
Yeah, that's right.
His sister came out and said that he sexually molested her numerous times growing up.
You know, speaking of that, I absolutely believe that.
Mhm.
I just think that there's no reason to doubt that, honestly.
Mhm.
I don't even think, you know, I think mostly, I think he's probably denied it, but I think mostly he's just kind of said like, hey, you know, she has problems, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
sure
it's
she
like,
does.
yeah.
She got raped her whole life.
Yeah.
Of course she's
By
gonna
you,
have
Sam.
problems. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, Sam Altman.
Do you remember?
Jesus.
Do you remember when they interviewed him in Congress? It was a stupid question, but they basically asked him like about like how much money he makes. He tried to no, nothing. I don't make anything.
Yes.
Here we go. This one is it 7 minutes? Is the whole thing really 7 minutes?
Yeah, but we should just play it. Should we
Right.
give an overview real quick of what happened?
So
Or,
all right. So we've talked about this a few times, but for our new viewers or people that haven't seen the show or a reminder, whatever. Obviously, everyone knows AI, ChatGPT. There's a big battle because it's pulling knowledge from somewhere. It's not reasoning that itself. And one of the big things is that it has to pull that from somewhere. And there's a big legalities of it, of like, okay, hey, that's my information. Why does ChatGPT think that if you own Reddit, you're a Reddit shareholder, thinking, why do you think you're privy to my info? So info is like a new commodity, basically. That's why Elon buying X is going to actually be a huge thing. That's why Facebook has a heads up. That's why Sora 2 was basically made free, even though if you wanted the Google version of making videos, you had to pay like $300 a month. Sora made it free, but you had to, the caveat was you had to join their brand new social media program, basically. And you can't leave. If you leave, you delete your whole account. You can't ever join ChatGPT or OpenAI ever again.
Because it's so valuable to train
Yes.
large language models on
Yes.
users' posts and interactions with each other, etc. Yeah.
And so ChatGPT had an employee that was a whistleblower basically saying that they're taking their info from this and it's plagiarizing from this. And then
From
weirdly
these
enough,
websites that weren't theirs, like Reddit.
shortly after, before lawsuit and everything, he killed himself.
Yeah.
Very violently killed himself.
That's right. Just ask the officials. It was a suicide.
Yep. So Sam Altman goes on to Tucker. Boy, they're trying to assassinate Tucker's character right now. But this is a great interview. We got to play it.
Yep. Here we go.
So you had complaints from one programmer who said you guys are basically stealing people's stuff and not paying them, and then he wound up murdered. What was that?
Also a great tragedy. He committed suicide.
Do you think he committed suicide?
I really do.
Have you looked?
This was like a friend of mine. This is like a guy that, and not a close friend, but this is someone that worked at OpenAI for a very long time. I was really shaken by this tragedy. I spent a lot of time trying to, read everything I could, as I'm sure you and others did too, about what happened. It looks like a suicide to me.
Why does it look like a suicide?
It was a gun he had purchased. It was this is like gruesome to talk about, but I read the whole medical record. Does it not look like one to you?
No, he was definitely murdered, I think. There were signs of a struggle, of course. The surveillance camera, the wires had been cut. He had just ordered takeout food, come back.
This is, it's so funny, dude.
I got to say.
Yeah, okay, go on.
I got to point out, too, that this is not unprecedented. There's been numerous cases where a autopsy, like the DA would put pressure on them to call something a suicide, and it was later proven to not be a suicide. This has happened.
Yeah, it's like kind of a common thing that happens.
Yeah, there's a case right now that is going to start picking up steam that they called as a suicide, and it wasn't. We could pull that one up after this if we want. But this is not uncommon for this to happen.
Okay, I'm just going to replay this part where he goes, "Does it not look like a suicide to you?" And then Tucker goes, "Well, he was obviously murdered." Okay, let's just play it all from here again.
To you?
No, he was definitely murdered, I think. There were signs of a struggle, of course. The surveillance camera, the wires had been cut. He had just ordered takeout food, come back from a vacation with his friends on Catalina Island. No indication at all that he was suicidal. No note and no behavior. He had just spoken to a family member on the phone. And then he's found dead with blood in multiple rooms. So that's impossible. Seems really obvious he was murdered. Have you talked to the authorities about it?
I have not talked to the authorities about it.
And his mother claims he was murdered on your orders.
Do you believe that?
I'm asking.
You just said it. So do you believe that?
I think that it is worth looking into, and if a guy comes out and accuses your company of committing crimes, I have no idea if that's true or not, of course, and then is found killed and there are signs of a struggle, I don't think it's worth dismissing it. I don't think we should say, well, he killed himself when there's no evidence that the guy was depressed at all. I think, and if he was your friend, I would think you would want to speak to his mom or...
I did offer. She didn't want to.
Would you want to speak to your son's killer? I think it's interesting that she said Sam Altman ordered my son to be killed.
Also,
it's looking...
Altman said it was his friend in the beginning, so he said that. I can't think of any one of my friends that if they died and their parents wanted to talk to me saying no. I just can't imagine. Even if I can't imagine.
Well, they didn't want to talk to him.
Okay, did I have that backwards?
Yeah.
Okay.
He offered and they didn't want to speak to him.
Oh, okay.
That's what he said.
I misheard that. Thank you.
This is just so great because his deflections and stuff make him look guilty to me. Let's let it keep going.
So
Yeah.
do you feel that, when people look at that and they're like, it's possible that happened, do you feel that that reflects the worries they have about what's happening here? Like people are afraid that this is like...
I haven't done too many interviews where I've been accused of like...
Oh, I'm not accusing you at all. I'm just saying his mother says that. I don't think a fair read of the evidence suggests suicide at all. I just don't see that at all. And I also don't understand why the authorities, when there's signs of a struggle and blood in 2 rooms on a suicide, like how does that actually happen? I don't understand how the authorities could just kind of dismiss that as a suicide. I think it's weird.
You understand how this sounds like an accusation?
Of course. And I certainly, let me just be clear once again, not accusing you of any wrongdoing, but I think it's worth finding out what happened. And I don't understand why the city of San Francisco has refused to investigate it beyond just calling it a suicide.
I think they looked into it a couple of times, more than once as I understand it. I saw and I will totally say, when I first heard about this, it sounded very suspicious to me.
Yes.
And I know you had been involved in...
Was mother
You were
reached
asked to look
out
into
to
the
me.
case.
And I don't know anything about it. It's not my world.
She just reached out cold?
She reached out cold.
Wow.
And I spoke to her at great length, and it scared the crap out of me. The kid was clearly killed by somebody. That was my conclusion, objectively, with no skin in the game.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about this is like any intelligent person will probably come to that conclusion. But Sam, you just said how you think it's a suicide. How strange,
Yeah. I wish he pressed them more on that. I wish they got into the
Right? Yeah, like
facts of
how
the
could
case
you?
a little bit more?
Yeah. I looked into it some after watching this interview like a month or 2 ago, and it seemed to me like, oh wow, that looks like this guy was murdered, beyond just what Tucker said. Although that's probably enough. But Sam doesn't think it was a murder. And also Sam benefits from the guy being murdered. So the whistleblower for OpenAI has disappeared. And, looks kind of suspicious to me.
Convenient timing for Mr. Altman.
Yeah. But also, this is an epic interview. This is just...
Tucker really does have just balls of steel.
Yeah, he does a good job here. And it's just such a interesting thing, this interview. It's like a billionaire of like one of the most powerful companies in the world, He says, I haven't done a lot of interviews where I've been accused of murder. This is a funny exchange to me.
Yeah.
And you, after reading the latest report,
Yes.
look,
I immediately called a member of Congress from California, Ro Khanna, and said, this is crazy. You've got to look into this. And nothing ever happened. And I'm like, what is that?
again, I think this is, I feel strange and sad debating this and having to defend myself seems totally crazy. And you are a little bit accusing me, but this was like a wonderful person and a family that is clearly struggling.
Yes.
And I think you can totally take the point that you're just trying to get to the truth of what happened, and I respect that. But I think his memory and his family deserve to be treated with a level of respect and grief that I don't quite feel here.
I'm asking at the behest of his family. So I'm definitely showing them respect. And I'm not accusing you of it.
I think that is, for me, that's the most guilty thing, where he tries to do the whole, like, this isn't very respectful to his family.
Me too, because it's such a strange line for him to do.
Yeah, it really is. And it's almost like he's digging for something that's not there. But I do love how he keeps waiting for Tucker to, like, deny that he keeps going, but you are kind of blaming me. And Tucker doesn't say, no, I'm not. He just says, just nods his head, basically. He doesn't deny it.
Yeah, yeah.
But the fact that he brings that up about his family and being disrespectful to his family, even though his family asked him to say that, I think he's guilty based off that alone.
Me too. That was maybe one of the most convincing things. And he goes on to use that same thing several times. Let's just watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
But You know, it's so funny because to me it looks like that thing of like, well, this is such a serious tragedy, therefore, but we can't talk about this. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be respectful to them. But I love that he says you're not being respectful enough to them, Tucker. And he says, they asked me, you know, I'm doing it at the behest of the family. I'm being maximally respectful to the family right now. And you're trying to infer, you know, or to imply that I'm somehow being disrespectful by asking you about this. It's fascinating.
To me, that's almost like when they're interviewing a parent that killed a kid, and they start using the kid in the past tense. You know, like, oh, that poor kid's done.
Yeah.
By the way, do you remember that case we talked about with the missing kid that we said was bullshit? They already. They pled guilty to that. At least the dad.
Did they? I didn't hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, the dad pled guilty.
Yep. We showed that on the show while it was happening. We were like, this looks like they killed him.
Yeah.
If we're wrong, we're sorry, you know.
Yeah.
Don't want to be accusing these parents.
I knew it was
it did.
This feels like that
right.
to me. This is what the parents use the kid in the past tense when he says that about the family.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to talk about that because it's disrespectful to the family.
And there's just no way Sam Altman will go down for this. Even if he's just too rich and powerful.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm sure he has 17,000 proxies between him and the guy that actually did it.
Yep. All right, let's keep going.
Any involvement in this at all. What I am saying is that the evidence does not suggest suicide, and for the authorities in your city to elide past that and ignore the evidence that any reasonable person would say adds up to a murder,
Except
I think it's very weird, and it shakes the faith that one.
Sorry to pause it again, but yeah, any reasonable person would say it's a murder, except for you, Sam. You think it's a suicide. It's okay.
Has in our system's ability to respond to the facts.
So what I was going to say is after the first set of information that came out, I was really like, man, this doesn't look like a suicide. I'm confused. This looks like...
Okay, so I'm not being crazy here at all.
But then after the second thing came out and the more detail, I was like, oh, okay.
What changed your mind?
He has no answer to that.
The second report on the way the bullet entered him and the sort of person who had like followed the sort of likely path of things through the room. I assume you looked at this too.
Yes, I did.
And what about that didn't change your mind?
It just didn't make any sense to me. Why would the security camera wires be cut? And how did he wind up bleeding in 2 rooms after shooting himself? And why was there a wig in the room that wasn't his? And has there ever been a suicide where there's no indication at all that the person was suicidal who just ordered takeout food? I mean, who orders DoorDash and then shoots himself? I mean, maybe. I've covered a lot of crimes as a police reporter. I've never heard of anything like that. So no, I was even more confused.
This is where it gets into, I think, a little...
What'd you say?
He wanted to do the Tucker laugh there so bad.
He shut up. That would have been great. But I love that he said, oh, the second report convinced me. Then Tucker goes on to and ends with, that left me more confused about it. And now that, this guy has to be like,
But painful, just not the level of respect I'd hope to show to someone with this kind of mental illness.
I totally get it. It's
people
just
do commit suicide without notes a lot. Like that happens.
For sure.
People definitely order food they like before they commit suicide. Like this is an incredible tragedy, and
that's his family's view, and they think it was a murder, and that's why I'm asking the question.
If I were his family, I am sure I would want answers, and I'm sure I would not be satisfied with really any. I mean, there's nothing that would comfort me in that,
Right.
Like, so I get it. I also care a lot about respect to him.
Right.
Respect. He goes on to say more about how we stop asking me these questions. It's not respectful, even though it clearly is.
The one in the news right now, Boston cops, by the way, are raping a 14-year-old girl. She gets pregnant. Cop walks in, on camera, walks out. She turns up. She hung herself. Autopsy, everything says it's a suicide. Somehow it gets tipped off to the FBI. FBI looks into it. It is very obvious that this was not a hanging suicide. And now those cops are in deep trouble. But this happens all the time.
Good.
So I'm
I
trying to
hope they
point
get
out. And this is in Boston.
the
Boston's
death penalty.
Yeah. Yeah. So this happens all the time.
Yep. I remember that story.
Yep. And that it kind of got, because of that, that led to the Karen Reed case that we kind of talked about. She got found not guilty, by the way, where it looks like some cops.
Oh, they tried to
beat
frame
up a cop
her.
friend
Yeah.
and killed him, and they tried to frame her, saying she backed up over him and then took off and left him in the snow. She got found not guilty, and the only basically other evidence was he's beat up by these cops. It looks like it was, and there was some crossover between that case and this fake suicide case, and so the feds have been looking into that case. I don't think they've released a report yet because it takes forever, but they accuse her of murder too. The same group of people, I think.
Yep. It's too bad. The weird world we live in. But I'm glad you brought up that Sam Altman thing because I wanted to cover that. We've been trying to cover that for like 3 shows, and
Kinda
I'm glad we
all
just
of
jammed that in because it is
fit in with the Isaac
fascinating.
Kathy
He
thing.
might have actually had this guy murdered, you know. He's a billionaire. His super powerful company stands to lose hundreds of millions of dollars.
Already, Elon's trying to sue him. They're already in a battle over information and stuff. There is a lot of but by the way, they're the most valuable private company in the world right now.
OpenAI?
OpenAI, yep.
Yeah, it makes sense to
Yep.
me, dude.
If you go to our Twitter, they listed like the top 4 or 5, and Elon has started like 3 of them or something like that.
Dude, I saw a thing where a guy said, it was some thread on, I don't know what, maybe Reddit, maybe X, and somebody said something like, these AI companies haven't made anything. They're spending billions and billions of dollars, and they haven't really produced anything except these large language models. And why are they so valuable? And then someone underneath replied and said, look, the AI that ends up being AGI or the winning AI will
the most
corner
valuable
the
thing
market on
humanity's ever
every
made.
industry. So it's worth
Yup.
like infinite money to get the winner. And I was like, ugh.
But not only that, that's such a stupid, short-sighted argument. That's the big thing with Amazon. When Amazon stock was blowing up, and it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, they were
People
like
were
losing money
saying
for
over
years,
and over, going, Amazon hasn't made a profit. Why is this bookseller worth so much? It's already when they're way past it. They were just using that as like a slur for it. But they kept beating that down, saying they have not made a profit. They have not made a profit, and now they're massively profitable. But valuations are forward-looking. It's the whole point is like, hey, how much money are you making right now? If you're a Warren Buffett and you're a value investor, that's what you're looking for. But that's not what like hyper growth stocks are and companies are. You're not looking for companies that are making money right now. You care about what they're going to be making 10, 20, 30 years down the road.
Are they
That's the whole
doing
point.
something that will
It's such a
take all of
stupid-
market share from Walmart?
Yes.
That's pretty valuable, you know. So.
That's why people are trying to say that Ford stock should be worth so much more than Tesla because Ford was making a profit and Tesla for the longest time wasn't. They were losing 20 grand a car that they built. And now Tesla makes more money than all the car companies combined. And it's only starting. Wait 5 years when they got the robots.
Yeah. Who's that one lady she's a finance genius.
Yep, the one that
Wood, right?
she's the one that
Kathy
does,
Wood
yep,
or
Kathy
Katie Wood or
Woods.
something. Yeah.
Yep, Kathy Woods. Yep, she does like ARK K, ARK G. She does these big ETFs. She called Tesla super early, and she was buying up just millions of dollars of Robinhood stock when it was $8, and now it's $150 and stuff.
Damn it!
She's
Good job,
got,
Byron.
she's got it. She says Tesla stock's going to, I don't know, was it like $2,000-$3,000?
Yeah, that's what I was
And
just gonna
she's
say.
gotta
She
be
said like
right.
2,500 or something, and right now it's
Yeah.
400. And
Yeah.
I want to keep buying it. You know,
Yep.
I'm just I'm a believer in the self-driving cars. I just think it's genius, and it's gonna be the
That's
thing.
another thing. The same people are
And
looking at it
robots.
going like, look at Waymo. There's more Waymo cars. They just started to release the full self-driving taxis, basically. And they have a safety driver in the passenger seat. But these short-minded people don't see like, okay, this could expand so much faster because Waymo has to go and geofence an area, and their cars cost way more. With a Tesla, it's $30,000 to roll that off the line, and you could have full self-driving anywhere. You don't have to geofence, nothing. But they'll hear him say like, yeah, but there's smaller area. Well, that lasted 5 weeks, and now it's swamped it. Waymo's being swamped by the full self-driving taxi of Tesla. And the new thing is, well, there's somebody in there. Can you really call it full self-driving? Because there's a safety driver in there. Waymo had that. What happens 3 months from now when there's not? Then what's your argument?
Yeah. I mean,
now you're way behind. Now Waymo is completely buried when you were throwing your clout and your money behind basically a dinosaur. Waymo's a dinosaur right now, but people are just convinced that that's better than Tesla because Waymo had more cars at that time and made more money from it at that time.
And they're just biased against
short-sighted.
Elon or whatever, whatever reasons they want to hate.
There
on
is
it.
a contingent of that for sure.
Yeah.
And we haven't even talked about the valuation of the robots.
That's the thing I was going to say. Of course, the Optimus robots, and for the same reasons, like they can roll them off the line. They can actually manufacture them. You
brought up Kathy Woods. Play the 2 AI videos I sent you. This is a part of AI that we haven't covered much in the show. You talk about, you keep hearing the AI bubble, the AI bubble. Right now, the companies that are blowing up the stock market that they're calling the AI bubbles are basically the chip makers. So they're the ones that, and you hear people say like, when there's the gold rush, you be the shovel seller. That's who's blowing up right now. The Nvidias, the AMDs, the shovel makers, the shovel sellers have blown up. Okay. And that's what people are saying, like, that's the bubble. But think beyond that. AI is obviously here forever. The only part that's blown up so far is the shovel. I think that the rest of it, people aren't looking at enough. The robotics, the medicine part of it. So here's 2 videos.
The Matrix we're going to be in.
Yeah. Here's 2 videos about the medicine part, basically. So play these quick.
Okay. Hang on, let me turn it up.
Both happened like this week, by the way.
Google's AI just discovered a cancer drug combination that's never been tried in medical history and then proved it works in living human cells. Right now, millions of cancer patients don't respond to immunotherapy because their tumors are cold, completely invisible to their own immune system. And your body could essentially destroy the cancer, but it can't see it. Scientists have known for years that a protein called interferon can help make tumors visible. But the problem is that for most patients, interferon levels are way too low to work. So Google and Yale built this massive AI called C2S Scale with 27 billion parameters. And they gave it a task: find a drug that strengthens interferon signal in patients where their interferon levels are too weak. And to do this, the AI had to think conditionally, meaning it had to find a drug that enhances interferon when it's present, but has a minimal effect on its own. So they had the model virtually test over 4,000 drugs across 2 different scenarios: real patient tumors with weak immune signals versus isolated cancer cells grown in a lab. And by doing so, the model found a drug called silmeticertib. It's not a new drug, doctors have been using it for other things, but the AI predicted that combining this drug with low dose of interferon would significantly boost the tumor visibility to the immune system. And nobody in the history of medicine had ever connected this drug to immune response. So the AI wasn't just repeating what it learned, it was creating an entirely new idea. But obviously a prediction means nothing if it can't be proven. So they went to the lab and tested it on human cancer cells. But when they combined silmeticertib with low interferon, there was a 50% increase in tumor visibility, exactly as predicted by the AI. The model is open source and it shows that AI could make genuine discoveries that slip through human logic entirely. Follow and I'll keep you
Dude, that's epic.
How crazy.
Yeah, it's
so you have people saying, the people that love to downplay AI say, oh, it's an autocorrect. That's all it does. It's not creative. It just copies.
Yeah.
Well, here's proof it doesn't, because we have millions of scientists looking at this that would have made millions of dollars, and they couldn't figure it
Yeah,
out.
they didn't
But
know.
AI was able to reason and come up with this.
Yeah, and predict
Another thing that they keep saying it's all just copied, but obviously when we have it make the pictures for our shows, those aren't copied from anywhere. You know,
No.
those are brand new original.
And they're
But
the
they try
best
to act
art
like-
I've ever seen. You know,
I know.
it
Make-
does
made
it in 5
seconds.
seconds, and it does
Yeah.
it. Like sometimes I'll have an image in my head of like us doing mixing chemicals, and then the cartoon image it produces is better than I would have thought. You know, I'm just like, oh my god, it's perfect.
Yeah, so it's not copying that from anywhere. So it's actually
No.
there is some reasoning happening. Play the other one, but that's cool. How cool! Is that?
And-
That's going to save a lot of lives. That's just starting. AGI is not here yet. It's probably a year away.
See,
a
we
month
make
away.
this
I
point.
don't know.
I actually think a big theme of our show, if we keep doing this for years, is gonna be AI. It already has been, and I think for the next 10 years, you and I will be going, look at this. Look what AI's doing now. You know, we're gonna keep doing that. We've been doing it for 5 years, and it's getting amazing, dude. We're never gonna stop
10
going
years
like,
from now,
holy
we're
shit.
not going to be working. Nobody watching is going to be working. And they're just going to act like, well, of course, everyone knew that. But people think we're crazy right now for
Yeah,
saying that.
dude, you're right.
You're not going to be
Clip
working
it.
in 10 years.
Clip it,
Nobody
chat.
is.
Clip Garrett calling that chat.
Yep. And I got to add to that call is at this time in 2025, you think I'm wrong. You think I'm wrong that you're not going to be working in 10 years. Because you're going to say, just like when Epstein happened, and they say, oh, we know who Epstein was. Everybody, we knew. You didn't know who Epstein was. You thought I was wrong when I told you 10 years from now that you're not going to be working. You were wrong. You're not going to be driving. You're not going to be working. You're not going to be cleaning your house 10 years from now.
Yeah.
and
You're going to
you
be
think I'm wrong.
teleporting to the
but I'm
Matrix hub to
right.
plug into the new
Yes.
virtual
And
world.
you're going to
you
watch
live
this
in.
clip and you're going to say, no, I knew, though. I did.
Box Bar.
Hey.
Box Bar says, will drug companies be able to patent drugs AI designs and discovers, or do they pay off the FDA to prove them ineffective?
Man, it's going to be weird with you have 2 great points. I think the weird one's going to be the FDA. FDA moves way too slow. Think when AGI's here and you got people dying of just, I don't know, stage 4 cancer, AIDS, whatever it is. And AI is going to say, here's what the drug combinations we using to do this. And FDA is going to be saying, wait a minute. This person that's got 2 months to live, we can't give them that because they're doing that right now already.
So that's
they
the
have some
go-to.
exceptions that you try to go through, but FDA, if they're still around, is going to slow down progress so much when it comes to this. It's going to be a big issue, a very big issue, 9 months from now.
And you
But it
know,
is gonna be weird who owns that patent.
Yes,
Because right now,
exactly.
I think, like supposedly, let's say you make a cool design. You just say, hey, we're gonna make some Nate and Garrett shirts, and we've blown up, and we start selling shirts. I think AI owns, ChatGPT owns that image. So I think in theory,
I don't know.
they could come after us.
I guess I see it. It brings up a
I've
lot
kinda
of
been-
questions.
I've kind of been in the 3D printing world, and people are using AI to make 3D prints, and they go and they sell them. And some people say, like, you can't do that. ChatGPT owns or OpenAI owns that. People are like, how would they ever know? How would they ever know? But I think legally, Box Bar is right. So it doesn't matter when it's you and me selling T-shirts. But what if it's one of these genomic companies that cure death and that's worth trillions of dollars?
Yeah.
You
Well,
can't
see,
tell me that ChatGPT OpenAI is to say we deserve part of this. It's gonna be weird.
Well, you know, it brings up a lot of interesting questions. And one thing is, you know, as we said before, like 10 years from now, no one will have a job. There'll be nobody working,
Yeah, I know,
potentially, you know.
that's
And
why-
patents are sort of based on needing money and owning money. And patents aren't necessarily a net benefit to humanity. I actually think that in the
libertarians-
future, you know, there might not be such thing as patents. It's just everyone owns everything. No one can patent anything because it would just hamper people for no reason. But
There's
that's
a
you
big
know, that's
subset of
Long
libertarians
talk.
that are against patents, and I have a hard time saying they're wrong. There's been a lot of people abusing the patent thing. You saw it. Who was it? The
Dude,
kid,
I
the
think
guy that's
yeah.
the guy that was the Man Show host, not the gay one, but the cool one.
Adam Carolla.
Not Kimmel, but yeah. So he got sued because he was one of the first guys of the podcast that had episodes, and he got sued and had to fight the battle for a long time because some guy had a patent for like episodic whatever, and he was saying,
I hate
"You
that
were taking
kind
my
of thing.
patent."
Yeah.
and they battled
Like
out in court
patenting
for
an
a
idea.
long time.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's all.
There's a lot
stupid.
of problems with that kind of shit.
Yeah.
You,
But all right,
did
play
you
the
know,
next one quick.
Okay, but
Okay, I'm sorry.
real quick about patents.
Yep.
The video game Mordor: Shadow of War. It's a computer game. It's really a great game. You know, they're epic games. Okay, but in the game, you fight orcs. If an orc kills you, that orc will it gets a name and it says like, so the orc kills you, whichever orc kills you, that orc it becomes like a champion, like an evil champion, gains a level, it gains evil abilities to make it stronger, and they call it the nemesis system. Okay, so then later you face that orc again later in the open world, and it's great. Okay, however, Warner Brothers patented that idea, and so you like it's someone making a computer game can't make it where if you die to a creature it levels up. It's such a ridiculous thing that they've patented this idea. You can't patent this kind of thing, and humanity suffers because now we don't get to play that in video games. You know,
whoever made Donkey Kong should just patent platforming at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
And nobody can ever make a video
right.
game.
You can never make a video game where you
because we
move
had
from the
Pong
left to the
at
right.
one point.
Yeah. So it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, that's kind of a tangent. See, at the same time, I sort of like some patents. I invent a new engine. I need to be able to profit from it
somehow.
Yes.
Yeah.
However, if there's no such thing as money and we live in a Star Trek world, then we all just do our best to make everything better.
It's kind of when people, like earlier you talked about people saying how these large language models aren't making money. Eventually, they're going to make money obsolete. It's almost like the Matrix thing where eventually you won't have to dodge bullets. You know, it's one of those.
Yes, it's like that's a problem based on the past. It's it's actually great.
It won't even be an issue.
Yeah. And, you know, the Star Trek universe, that's kind of what it is. They go, what about money? And they go, we all just do our best for everyone. There's no such thing as money.
Like we talked about, when there's just massive abundance, it's not worth anything.
Right. It's a
anymore.
post-scarcity world. There's no such thing
same guy,
as trade.
Same week. Here's another one. Just
AI model took...
Sorry, I got to restart it.
treatments that barely work. This AI model took... Human scientists took 50 years, billions of dollars, and treatments that barely work. This AI model took 30 months, found both the target and designed the drug for pulmonary fibrosis. This isn't some lab experiment. This is real people with a deadly lung disease getting better because an AI figured out something human scientists missed for decades. Here's what happened. Scientists at In Silico Medicine fed their AI massive amounts of biological data and said, find us a new way to treat lung fibrosis, a disease that kills most patients within 3 to 5 years. The AI dug through thousands of proteins and pointed to one called TNIK. Human researchers had never considered this protein as a drug target for lung disease, but the AI basically said, trust me, this is the one. Then the same AI designed the actual drug molecule to attack TNIK, and no human chemist drew this compound. The AI literally generated it from scratch, optimized it, and predicted that it would work. And it did, from computer screens to human trials in just 30 months. It was tested on 71 patients with idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, people whose lungs were literally scarring themselves to death. And the results? Patients getting AI-designed drugs saw their lung capacity improve by 98 milliliters, while patients on placebo declined by 20 milliliters. That's a 118 milliliter difference between life and death. This is the first time in history that an AI discovered both the target and designed the drug that made it to human clinical trials. We're talking about diseases that have stumped researchers for decades, suddenly having new treatments options available. And while this is still early stages, this opens up so many opportunities. Follow and I'll keep...
Dude, think about the
how about that?
implications of this.
So,
It's
yes,
gonna,
yes.
it's just
So I'm
gonna
gonna
fix everything,
I'm
isn't it?
going to tie this back a bit, all right?
Okay.
We're talking about how the AI bubble, and we've always talked about how do you make money off of AI? The chip companies, because I sell them the shovels.
Okay, yeah.
But what's beyond that? Because that's just a small part of this. I think this is the new one. I think it's the genomic stuff. I think that they're going to have way more breakthroughs, and everything is pumping right now in the stock market, except for like pharmaceutical type stuff have been getting beat down lately. And I think that one of these companies is going to use AI to get some really big discoveries. Your next question, Nate, is going to be, how do you know which companies? Because there's tons of them.
Which one do I invest in?
Here's the
exactly.
good news.
Okay.
Tie this back again.
All right.
You don't even have to worry or think about that because Kathy Woods is going to do that herself. You get into an ETF. What an ETF is, especially if it's an actively managed one, which ARCG is. If you pull that up, it is actively managed, meaning that all of these investors are going and finding the best genomic companies, and they're making a big pot of it. And so you could just throw your money at this, and it invests in all of them.
Okay, I need.
Here's
to
the good.
invest
So
in
here's
this.
the bad news.
Okay.
ARCG 3 weeks ago was like $25, $27. So it's kind of ran. But go to 1 year. It's barely up on the year. Go to 5 years. It's nowhere near its all-time high. Look at this.
Okay.
Look at this. You have in the stock
110
world.
5 years ago.
Look at this. You have in the stock world, you have a base building for a very, very long time. And now you have a breakout. You have a breakout after 5 years. And what stock people know is that the longer that it stays there, the more it breaks up. This is Kathy Woods' ETF, by the way. And it's blowing up right now. And I think that it might just be starting.
Oh man. Okay. So it's up like $10.
So this is.
I could say to
that's
myself,
the
"Oh,
problem.
I missed
That's the
it. I'm
problem.
late."
It's up 40%. Yes.
Or I could just buy some right now and maybe.
But
ride
it's
the
already
wave
way
here.
down. And you're not going to be able to take a dart, throw it at these pharmaceutical genomic companies and hit the one that is going to take off. But you don't have to because they're going to do it for you. And
Okay.
if they miss, they're just going to add it. It's just like the
Yeah.
S&P. The S&P 500, the reason it beats everything, nobody, if you're hiring somebody to pick your stocks for you, you're wasting your money because nobody could beat the S&P 500. And the reason is they've rebalanced. So if there's a company that starts really running, you grab that. So yeah, here's Kathy Woods. She has ARC-K also, if you want to pull that one up. That's more of like the Tesla and the...
Dude, here's another throwback. I can't wait till Grokpedia instead of
Dude, this week.
biased.
This week?
Oh, really?
It's gonna be today, but Elon said they still have to purge some of the woke from it.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
See, oh man. See, that's why I hate Wikipedia. It's just biased
Yep.
lies. You know what I mean?
Yep. So their Grokpedia's coming out. Wikipedia should be worried about that, by the way.
Yeah, it's probably done. Grokpedia is probably
yeah.
gonna be 5 million times better.
So
you know.
I think this is one way to profit off of AI that not many people are seeing yet. Problem is, I wish we did this show a month ago because long dated puts now, month compared to now, long dated calls, I'm sorry, are up like 500-600%.
Damn.
Liberals hate Kathy Wood because she's into a lot of the companies like Elon's and stuff. But
Yeah.
But yeah, so we threw it back to her and we threw it back to AI making money.
Dude, that was great.
Yeah. Do we get into Katie Pig Porter? I think we have to say the Hasan stuff again, probably, right?
I think we should
We're an
save it
hour
all.
15
I think we should call it
Okay.
now.
You should call it?
basically. Yeah.
All right.
I think
You
that
got
was a
anything to
pretty
play
good
us out
show,
on?
Garrett.
me
Yeah,
too.
let's see. I think I do have some random stuff.
We get nothing else. We could have Hasan meeting one of his big fans. I sent you. We could probably pull it up.
Oh
I
my
sent you
God.
some.
I've got to
I sent
show this
you
before.
some conservatives fighting liberals. Those are kind of funny to pull up, but that's a whole segment. I think we should wait on that one.
Okay, we're not going to get into this, but there's a women's video game tournament.
Fortnite, baby.
Fortnite tournament. Okay.
The Milk Cup.
Yeah, the Milk
Cup.
For women by
girls
women.
have tits, Nate. That's why it's the Milk Cup.
For women by women. And I don't know if you want to look over here at this beautiful woman who won it for like $80,000.
Was it really?
Yes.
Jesus God.
Yeah.
Damn.
So he just stole that money from these women, you know. And it's just so it's a trans competitor
And
took
and
first place.
The poor actual females going against him can't speak up because they'll be canceled.
Yep.
Because the media's on this side
yep.
too, and we all have to
you know,
pretend.
also
we have to
lots of
pretend the
them
world's flat.
lots of them are ideologically compromised where they'll pretend it's a good thing.
Absolutely.
They're
You know why? 'Cause
applauding
it's
this
a safe
guy.
choice.
Yep.
The media tells them that's a safe choice. They're
Yeah.
worried about being attacked, so they want to go with the crowd.
So they're idiots, and until they figure it out, they're going to. This will just happen to every. By the way, is there some sort of women's League of Legends tournament, Garrett? Because we need to enter it. I'm not really kidding. We should just enter it and just go. Look,
just
as
to
long
prove
as
a
you
point.
guys are letting men win all your events, I'm getting in on it.
You remember there's that power lifter that he did that.
I know
that
that
said,
guy's a
"You know what? I
hero.
identify
Dude.
as women, so he went and just smashed the records just to prove a point.
Yeah, I love that. I think.
In a completely unrelated note, you can play us out on Hasan Piker beating one of his biggest fans.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
How good is this?
I got it.
There's so much we could play out. God, we got to do the
Dude, she's
Katie
the
pig
worst.
porter.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, we will.
Boy, is she just power hungry. I think she sunk herself. Oh man, we didn't get into Canada.
I know.
Canada, the land acknowledgements. Everybody, they worked. They're still looking at maybe stealing some homes in Canada. God, we got to talk about Mom Donnie.
Yeah, I know. That Mom
best.
Donnie clip right there is, honestly, it's pretty great.
So much. And just the race. You got the Republican. You got Mom Donnie. You got Cuomo. Now I have a bunch of people begging the Republican to drop out. It's a
Dude,
mess. It's a
speaking
giant
of the
mess.
race, you know what I'm seeing a lot of is people saying, oh, Cuomo killed a bunch of elderly people during COVID, which, by the way, you and I were saying when it happened. I was shocked by that. I couldn't believe it. We were raving about that. Saying it's nuts that he's putting these COVID people in nursing homes. No one else was saying shit. Now they're 5 years later, they're indignant about it. Where were they 5 years ago? Pisses me off, man.
Yep.
Now it's safe to say how insane it was.
So was the mentally unwell mail and address that Biden nominated and had as his Secretary of Health.
Yeah.
He was the same.
Yeah,
took
he did
his
that.
Mom.
Yeah,
Took
took
his
her
mom
out right before it.
and then threw a bunch of patients with COVID in afterwards. Yep.
But, Mom Donnie calls Cuomo out during that debate on that, which is great.
Does he? Good.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I mean,
We'll do that clip.
but and the other guy who's running in that race also is saying the same thing, and good. But I would have liked to hear it 5 years ago when you and I were getting our show banned every week because we were saying that.
Yeah.
And nobody else was saying shit. They were all,
didn't know.
well, they needed to put them somewhere.
Yeah,
In the nursing home? I mean, it was so obvious to me that they were elevating the death count on
They would have been
purpose.
better off putting them in kindergarten classes and preschool classes.
For
Rather
sure.
than in the nursing home.
Anywhere but the nursing home. Put them in the sewer.
You know what? We
I mean,
have the spark. We have the spark. Do we throw it in the ocean or we throw it in this tinder box right here?
Yeah, that was.
I guess sparks go in tinder boxes.
Dude, so obviously murder. I mean, what the hell? And all the
another
liberals,
thing-
he was winning awards as best handling of COVID.
Yes. He would go on to his brother's show on CNN and it would be a puff piece after puff piece.
Yeah, and the liberals were
He also
singing
did a
songs about how
commercial.
handsome he was.
He
God,
also
we
did a
lived in a weird
commercial.
freaking world.
But it was more focused on the Jewish community in New York probably because he's fear mongering about Mom Donnie not liking the Jews, and he's probably right. But he was saying like, because the Jews in New York were pushing back a lot about the COVID restrictions, especially when it came to like worship and stuff. And he opens it with like, we didn't know about COVID and mistakes were made. He didn't apologize. He didn't acknowledge it.
Gave the
He just said
Gavin
mistakes
Newsom
were
answer.
made.
Yeah.
So he's almost like, we need an olive branch to get rid of this Mom Donnie guy. We should play that too when we get to it. Dude, we could go for hours.
I know.
There's so much we need to cover.
Yeah, I know.
We can just play this.
Let's play this. Let's play
We
this.
can laugh at it. So this is Hasan Piker. Speaking of hating Jews, you got Hasan Piker who hates the Jews.
For all the wrong reasons.
Yes. But also, I think he secretly knows. This is why, this is a big cosm of why Republicans are winning the younger vote. Because this is, for people that don't know, this is a super popular streamer to leftists. This is their hero.
Him and Destiny, who's similar downfall. Each other. Yeah.
They hate each other because Destiny is very pro-Israel and Hasan is very anti-Israel, so they hate each other. There's a giant
Destiny's
rift there between
pro-Israel.
them.
That's surprising.
Very,
to me.
very, very.
I wonder if he's getting checks from them. You know, these are just
30 pieces of
weak
silver.
men, dude. These liberal heroes are weak.
Yep.
Destiny is such a piece of shit, and so is Hasan.
Yeah,
they're just shitty people, dude.
And here's Hasan meeting his average fan, and you could tell that he doesn't think very highly of his average fan.
Yeah, the monster that these people have created.
So this is his average.
I hope our camera's not in the way too much here, but yeah, here's Hasan out in public, wishing he could be electrocuting his dog, but is busy giving him a walk.
Or dragging it by a tail. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, here you go.
Hi.
I just wanted to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
My hero, for sure.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. What should we do? Kaya. All right.
Just dismisses
Watch
them.
him. Watch him. He watch his right hand here. He doesn't like touching that sweaty, palmy guy hand.
Yeah, he wipes his shirt off. I gotta hide my webcam. Hey, God. Here you go. But yeah, he wipes his hand
obviously creeped out by this.
Can't look at them.
Hi.
I just wanted to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
My hero, for sure.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. What should we do? Kaya. All right. Hi.
This whole interaction is creepy.
He's thinking, can I just beat up my dog quick to get out of this?
Can I hurry up and get home and choke my dog and electrocute it? So I don't have to meet my fans. By the way, nice skirt,
Did you
bro.
see Mom Dommy? God, you almost got to play the Mom Dommy clip now at that debate. Did you see that clip?
Which one?
All right, so Mom Donnie. So there's the big debate. There's Cuomo. There's Mom Donnie. They ask Mom Donnie, who basically is Piker's hero, I'm sure. Just play it.
Super communist.
I don't want to give it up.
All right, here you go.
It's genocide. And I find the comments that Hasan made on 9/11 to be objectionable and reprehensible. And I also think that part of the reason why Democrats are in the situation that we are in, of being a permanent minority in this country, is we are looking only to speak to journalists and it's genocide.
How about that? He calls out because he's made some real bad comments about 9/11, basically saying Americans deserve it, yada, yada, that whole thing.
Yeah.
And the question basically was like, will you disavow those comments? And they basically were accusing him of not doing it. So just imagine being in Hasan's shoes here. This is like
His
the world's
hero, his
watching
communist
this
hero,
debate.
yeah.
And his hero has to disavow what he says.
That's
how
funny.
hilarious is this?
I'm gonna play it again. I hid your webcam this time so you can see Hasan.
It's genocide. And I find the comments that Hasan made on 9/11 to be objectionable and reprehensible. And I also think that part of the reason why Democrats are in the
Who's this worm sitting beside?
Cool. Oh, yeah.
God,
Jesus.
these people are
I don't
just
know.
all these fucking liberal men, dude. They're just so weak.
Think if Ron Paul or somebody was running for like close to being the president, and there's a debate, and they ask like President Paul,
That
what
would
do you
hurt.
think of Nate
That would hurt.
views on trans men in bathrooms? And he has to say, I really have to despise what Nate says.
No, he'd support that.
God.
He'd support my
I'm
views like
just-
that.
yeah.
He'd
But
say, "What about
but
Nate's?"
anything you've said on the show? And he had Ron Paul up there saying that it's reprehensible what Nate has said.
What do you think
How
about?
fucking
What do you think
terrible
about
would that be?
Nate's position on the "we never went to the moon"? And Ron Paul's like, "I think Nate's insane. It just break my heart."
Oh,
I
thank you,
disavow
thank you,
Nate's
thank you.
position on 9/11. I go, Ron.
situation that we are in of being a permanent minority in this country is we are looking only to speak to
No, I'm
journalists and
Hasan electrocuted
Hasan,
his
I don't know
dog
if we said
extra
the
after that.
show, but he's a nepo baby. That is the nephew of Jank from the Young Turks. So not only is his parents super rich, they got him to be on the Young Turks a few times. That took off his streaming career, and he messed it up by finally getting caught torturing his dog.
Yeah, he definitely tortures his dog. I mean, I actually had a clip. Let's do this, and then we're seriously calling it, okay? Because it's a veterinarian who talks about Hasan shocking
Save
his
it.
dog.
We
He's-
got it. We got it. People don't know what the hell we're talking about. We haven't shown it. We gotta.
Yeah, you're right.
We gotta kind of do the whole
and
thing.
it's 2 minutes. It's too long anyway.
Yeah.
But it's
we
a pretty
could show
good
him
video.
crashing out. He crashed out. I hate leftism. It's
Yeah,
so
that's
funny how
great.
like
That's a great one to end on.
leftism just they eats itself all the time, and we're gonna see that with Canada. Canada, they took the land acknowledgements too serious. They're gonna lose their houses. Here's Hasan crashing out because he's called out by these guys.
You're gonna be in the way. I'm gonna hide you again.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
And then
we're not gonna
we're-
play the whole
then we-
thing. We're just gonna.
I say
play
we almost
the
for
clip.
real have to say bye, right?
Yeah,
It's been
we
an
are.
hour and a
But
half.
let's just play it.
Yeah.
I can't stand any of you dumb fucks in this goddamn chat. Oh my fucking god, I hate the left. I hate liberalism. I hate everything that's going on every single fucking day of the goddamn week. I hate my life. I hate fucking streaming. I hate socialism. I hate every single fucking person who thinks that the peak of activism is just being the most annoying, holier than thou, the most ultimately woke leftist. It's just you did it. You did it. You have unlocked the fucking nihilism within me, okay? I am black pilled. Nothing will ever get better. We are never going to make it out. We can't even have a normal fucking non-hostile goddamn conversation.
This is a symptom of the bigger picture of why the left is in deep trouble.
Yeah. Plus, all of his
Yeah,
fan
we-
base, he'll never live down this shocking his dog thing because his fan base are such hateful people. Okay, now I'm with
Yep.
them. He should be ridiculed for the rest of his life for torturing his dog. But
we thought
they
he did
just
that
want
before
to
he
be
tortured his
trolled.
dog.
They want to troll so bad that they'll just troll him forever now. You know
They want to be holier than thou so bad.
that
even
too.
worse
Yeah,
than
they get to be
priest doing
virtuous
it.
over him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You know,
he's
we
fucked.
do have to next week. We probably have to cover some of these races that are going on. We got elections in like
Yeah.
2 weeks. We
Yeah,
got
we
to
will.
at least touch on that and where the current state of those races are, because they're kind of not being talked about enough. The Voting Rights Act is right now being debated in the Supreme Court, and that could. I'll save it. We're going off on too many tangents. It's a big case. It's going to net the Republicans about 16 seats in the House, probably.
Yeah,
And they're probably
I've
going to
seen
win.
that, which
and
I think
the
is
media's
great.
going to tell you it's the death of democracy, and that this is this court. We need to do judge packing, basically, is what they're going to tell you. But
Great show,
we'll
Garrett.
save it.
Yep. Thanks everybody
Bar,
for
nice
watching.
seeing ya.
Yep. Thanks
Yeah.
everybody. We appreciate it.
A lot of viewers, considering that we were only on X tonight. So thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. See you guys.
See you next Monday.
Yeah, had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics, everything up to the moon. Was the landing real or fake? I guess you'll never know. Let's talk, this is the Nate and Garrett Show, yeah. So lend me your ear, let's get it poppin'. You know that we keep it live, non-stopping. Educate and entertain, there ain't no doubt. After you listen, you'll be thinking way outside the box. From media dishonesty, never let them play you. Keep it authentic nowadays, many can't do. Unfiltered is how we do it. Make sure you stay locked in and tuned in, let's go. Had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens.